January, a time where we take our first steps towards our New Year's resolutions and try to become the best versions of ourselves. Am I right? And even though some goals revolve around climbing mountains or finally making this the year where you learn how to dance, most people's resolutions focus on one main thing: health. And in recent years, one health trend stands out above most.
Vegan diet has more than doubled in the last year.
Veganism is defined as a diet that excludes all animal-derived products like meat, eggs, and dairy products. It even includes honey. And in the past decade, the trend has skyrocketed. In the US, consumers identifying as vegan grew from 1% all the way up to 6%, and that number has continued to increase as more and more documentaries such as Game Changers and Cowspiracy have come out in support of the diet due to not only health benefits, but also environmental and animal cruelty prevention. And so, to fully put this diet to the test and see if it actually has the health benefits everybody claims, Matt decided to go on the vegan diet for a full 30 days to answer a few questions. How difficult will it be to change? How will his energy be affected? And will he decide to continue this vegan diet after the 30-day trial?
We're gonna see where your deficiencies currently are on your past diet, implement the vegan diet, and see how much of an improvement we can get.
Amazing.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm
ready.
ready.
Your red blood cells being a little bit low at 4.29. One of the big things we wanna see here is where do you get great sources of heme and iron from? Kind of the big one that people are concerned about when they're switching to a vegan diet is their vitamin B12. And prior to switching, your levels still aren't optimal. Rich greens, spirulina, great sources of B12.
Okay.
But really, truly, we can improve all of these numbers with the vegan diet.
Amazing. I want to see all that green when I come back. No bad grades.
No bad grades.
Blood work is done. Now time to get on this diet and do it right. Starting today, I'm going vegan. I tried to go vegan a year ago. I tried for 6 days, and by the end of the 6 days, I was completely and utterly exhausted. I hadn't had no experts, nobody that was actually vegan tell me how to do it. So what I've done is I've gathered several experts, athletes, nutritionists, doctors, to help me throughout this process. To begin, I'm gonna be meeting with Dr. Matthew Letterman, who works with Whole Foods, who's written books on this, and he is gonna take me grocery shopping and make sure I buy all the right ingredients and all the right foods. I've always convinced myself that I need to eat meat for protein, for energy. So this is gonna be challenging every single nutritional idea that I've ever had in my head. Let's go meet Matthew and let the day begin. Matt, thank you again for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having
Stoked
me.
to have you here. Have you noticed differences in how people react to a vegan diet?
It's really what you're eating, and we like to say whole foods, plant-based, fruits, vegetables, whole grains and starchy vegetables, legumes, and then some nuts and seeds. What you want to get rid of is the processed foods.
And obviously the question that every single vegan gets is how do you get enough protein?
Every plant food has protein. So if you're getting your 2,000 calories a day or whatever you need, you're going to blow away the amount of essential amino acids you need.
I mean, that's a perfect segue into what we're about to do next.
Yeah.
Which is, you're gonna help me grocery shop.
Yeah.
As a grown man, is, I have to admit, slightly embarrassing. That I need help with. Should we go shopping?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Show me. So this is what it all looks like. The good news is that I get to eat a lot more than I'm used to. Hell yes. The odd thing about this is that here I have to be very aware of everything that I'm putting into my body. So it's a great exercise in awareness and self-awareness of what we're consuming. In the meantime, I'm gonna have some dinner. This is Matt's breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. Got 2 nice little nutritional bars, some seaweed, dried mangoes, lots of almonds, apple, banana. I'm literally trying to load up as much as I can. I'm eating more than I think is normal. In about 3 hours, we're gonna meet with a vegan bodybuilder, and he hopefully is gonna make me feel good about myself and say that I'm doing things right. I'm trying to gain muscle, which is why I want to talk to this bodybuilder, because I'm trying to be a bodybuilder. Don't tell the guys. Anyways.
Mine too. What up, bro?
How you doing, Matt? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nehemiah has been vegan his entire life. Well, vegetarian initially,
yeah.
and then vegan ever since.
5 years.
What's been the key to fitness?
It's always dependent on the person, right? Whatever their goals are. If I wanted to compete, I figured if I could do it as a vegan and show that you can not only like live and thrive on a vegan diet, but you could be like a top level bodybuilder, so then maybe it would kind of like change that notion. But it's still every single day I get it. Like, where do you get your protein? I'm like, dude, do I look like I'm struggling to get protein here? Like, it's like a freaking calling card for veganism. Like, do you get enough protein? I'm just like, yeah.
Well, I feel like a freaking twig next to you.
That it's just a different shape.
It's a different, like, smaller shape.
Get him out.
Little brother. Bean and rice burrito. Time to munch on this Justin Bieber style, baby. The snacks and the lunches and the dinners are all so tasty. The one thing about this is just like, I feel like I'm constantly thinking about food and what I need to consume. It's like almost like a job to make sure that you're on top of your nutrition. And I hope that this is just temporary, because if it's always like this and you always have to think about what you're eating next and all of that, then it's just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go crazy. On to day 5 tomorrow. After 1 week of going vegan, I was honestly feeling great. But I wanted to better understand the vegan community as a whole and see how veganism can help people who aren't necessarily professional athletes. All right, we are on our way to a dinner hosted by Robbie Barbaro. Robbie is the founder of a company called Mastering Diabetes, and he uses plant-based whole foods to help himself and others overcome diabetes.
What's up, man? How you doing, man? Good to meet you. You have persimmons? Egg persimmons?
Never had a persimmon.
Never had a persimmon. This is a high chia persimmon. If you tried to eat that early, it would taste like chalk. You can have a fuyu variety. Okay. This is a giant fuyu.
Wow.
This is a chocolate high chia. All right. So,
where are all these fruits coming from? Do you only eat fruit?
So I eat fruits, greens, and non-starchy vegetables. People with diabetes are scared of fruit, they're scared of potatoes, they're scared of rice. But we teach them the more of those you eat, the better your diabetes health. Eating too much fat, particularly saturated fat, causes insulin resistance.
Okay.
So when you take out the fat, you can eat the carbohydrates without having insulin spikes.
And is meat a high fat?
Meat is, yes. Even lean meats are still higher in fat. We have over 100 million people in the US alone that have either type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes.
Really?
100 million.
A third of the population?
Yes.
What? And have you been able to reverse diabetes for type 2s?
Absolutely. We have lots of testimonials. We had a man come to us. He was told he needed 6 bypasses. Decided that, you know what, I'm gonna watch this information, I'm gonna apply this out of the bypasses for now and see what happens. And he didn't need them.
Wow.
So he reversed his heart disease and avoided 6 bypass surgeries.
Oh my God.
Magic man.
You are the magic man.
Hi, nice to meet you, Matt.
Brian.
Nice to meet you, Brian. You too.
So I was watching Taco Bell commercial, and I was like, I kind of want Taco Bell. Like, obviously I can't have Taco Bell. I mean, I can if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I wanted to recreate it just using plants, so...
What the hell?
So then you get that.
So good.
That's incredible.
And then you just douse. And the guacamole is like, come on, really? After you eat it, you're like, oh wow, I feel kind of amazing.
I think that is the best part, actually. After you eat, you don't feel like you need to take a 2-hour nap.
I crush food.
But it's cool because you can crush food and not feel guilty about it.
Here's some ketchup cheese. Dip it super hard.
Every single bite.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
It's like a restaurant.
So good.
At this point, I felt really good, and I was happy with everything I'd heard from my new vegan friends.
Yeah, so nice meeting you.
But now I wanted to get a perspective from someone who didn't believe that a vegan diet was the best diet to follow. And so the next day, I sat down to talk with Max Lugavere, author of the book Genius Foods, to get his take on veganism. Thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks for
you,
having
brother.
me. Yeah, same.
You got started in nutrition unexpectedly, like.
Correct. Yeah, I was a journalist and my mom got sick. She, at a very young age, developed the earliest symptoms of dementia. It sent me down the rabbit hole to try to understand why this would have happened to a woman at her age. You know, my mom was at the receiving end of nutritional information, magazines and newspapers and TV shows and things like that. Now I know that in many ways, some of the information that she was fed was not all that accurate, and that continues to happen to people all around the world. So I started reading study after study after study. In a nutshell, I've had a tremendous amount of exposure to this topic.
Is there anything that stuck out immediately that you were like, wow?
The standard American diet is poison. It involves 60% of your calories coming from ultra-processed foods. A vegan diet, a plant-based diet, is one way, but it's not the only way. Incorporating properly raised animal products can be perfectly healthy. We have nutrients that are called micronutrients, and I think when you look at the micronutrients that are offered in animal foods, I think they're invaluable to the body because they're already sort of in a plug-and-play format, ready to be utilized by the body.
Max. Dude, the thing is, how do you even choose? Just like there's a new book, there's a new documentary, there's a new thing coming out every 2 seconds. But it does seem like the consensus is plants are good. Yeah, that's the consensus. But the fact that it's anything to an extreme may not be the right answer for most people.
There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all diet. What works for you might not work for me. So at the end of the day, I would encourage your viewers to do research for themselves, look to get their information from unbiased and credible sources, and to be willing to iterate and tinker.
Thank you for saving me.
Yeah. My pleasure, man.
That's the answer. That's the answer.
How do you feel?
Confused. I'm talking to only smart, well-studied people, and they have pretty different opinions about what I should be eating. I feel like if I were to do this right, I'd have to spend like a decade researching. Day 15, halfway there, and more confused than ever. From day 16 to day 26, I went traveling. And even though continuing with the vegan challenge while traveling was hard, it was actually pretty doable. The Syrian restaurant we're going to this morning here in Germany is hopefully vegan.
What do you mean hopefully? He keeps saying that. It is vegan.
It is vegan.
Hey, man.
Otherwise, I have my nuts and my bars.
My nuts. Cool, man.
Thanks, dude. And by the time I came back, I was luckily able to sit down with the main person who inspired me to take on this challenge, James Wilkes, the producer and protagonist of the hit documentary Game Changers. It's perfect. Amazing. Thank you, James. Nice to finally meet you, man. A little over a month ago is when I first saw Game Changers. Well done, man. It was so well done.
Yeah, so much.
Everybody's talking about it, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. On some days we'll have 500,000 people just going to the recipe page on our website.
Wow. My whole attempt in making this video is to kind of get all perspective. And I see you as like the front runner in this movement, in the vegan movement.
I personally believe that a fully plant-based diet is optimal for health and athletic performance. Any direction that you take towards more plant-based eating is going to be beneficial, replacing both animal foods and also, processed junk foods.
Gotcha. And do you find that a lot of people that go vegan just aren't educated on how to do it?
Any diet should be well planned. People should look into it and look about what they're putting in their body. You can't just take your current diet, take meat off the plate, and think you're good to go. But if you look at like nutrition deficiencies, on average, vegans are deficient in 4 nutrients. Meat eaters are deficient in 9. If you look at the World Health Organization or the FAO, they're all saying now to eat a diet that's predominantly plant.
Amazing. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
For me, the core is promoting plant-based eating, giving people the resources so that they don't fall off the bandwagon. Because a lot of times people don't know what to eat or where to eat or how to cook.
Well, James, I don't want to take much more of your time, but I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Talk to you soon. Cheers. Good luck with everything. Great guy. And everything you said makes sense. Yeah. Everybody I've talked to is so nice, and it literally makes so much sense every time. Last day, boy. I'm excited that I've completed my challenge. I guess we'll be able to tell at the blood work whether I've changed, but at least I don't feel worse. That's the main thing.
1, 2. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All set. You're welcome.
All right, time to get the blood results.
How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are we looking positive?
Positive?
Your vitamin B12 actually improved, but that's from supplementing. So to say like a true vegan diet, your vitamin B12 is gonna go up, we can't confidently say that. We actually saw a pretty sharp increase of your total testosterone. Whether or not the vegan diet is right for you, I'd say this is a huge positive benefit. Your TSH or your thyroid actually improved.
Bam! More thyroid.
What's that?
What does thyroid do?
So the thyroid is part of the liver.
Wrong.
No.
It has almost some effect on every body system. So energy, sleep. Your T4 looks superior as well.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Great. You've actually decreased the amount of good cholesterol that you have. If you were eating a lot of fish like salmon and tuna prior to switching your diet, yeah. Tell me where it came from. If you want to remain on the vegan diet, you really have to ramp up your source of good healthy fats to kind of counterbalance what's been removed.
Gotcha.
Your protein levels look actually even better.
Wow.
Yeah. Can be surprising.
That's amazing.
Then we want to look at your total iron, actually improved with the vegan diet.
That's actually crazy.
You're a phenomenon at this point.
It's that especially was the number one thing I was worried about.
Yeah,
Iron.
your iron looks even better.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, of everything, plant-based is best for you. Or a vegan diet is best for you.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
All right. I did not expect the results to be that good. It's actually quite shocking. I kind of feel like I don't have a choice but to go majority plant-based now. The results were better after they were before, and I was already eating so healthy. I think I'll still have some animal product once in a while, but mostly plant-based. Because it is very restrictive, so it is nice to be able to pick for yourself what you want. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for watching, and as we end this video and all of you have your wonderful New Year's resolutions coming up, some of those resolutions will involve online shopping. And so to make sure that you get the best prices online by finding all the coupons available, we highly recommend that you consider using our sponsor for this video, Honey. Honey is a free online shopping tool that automatically finds the best promo codes and applies them to your cart and has saved the Yes Fam so far over $1.3 million. It works on over 30,000 websites like Target, Best Buy, and Expedia and has saved 17 million members who use it over $2 billion. It's completely free and only takes 2 clicks to install. Just go to joinhoney.com/yestheory and click Add Honey for free. I've recently used it to buy a new phone case, and by just clicking apply coupons when it pops up, I saved $19. There's no reason not to add Honey to your browser today. It's free, just 2 clicks to install. So if you want to join thousands of other Yes Fam members in saving money on your purchases, click the link below to add Honey to your browser or go to joinhoney.com/yestheory. We'll see you next week.